Good day, learners, and welcome. Today we are continuing with Knowledge Module 1, and our focus is KTO5, Handling Customer Complaints. Everything we will cover today comes directly from your official KMO1 Sales Assistant learning material. This topic is extremely important because complaints are moments where customer trust is tested. How we respond as sales assistants can either repair a relationship or permanently damage it. During this session, I will slow the content down and explain each part carefully. I will also repeatedly link what we discuss to how questions are asked in assessments, so that you are not only confident in the workplace, but also confident when writing assessments. By the end of the session, you must be able to 1. Explain ways of acknowledging customer complaints. 2. Clearly differentiate between a customer complaint and a customer query. 3. Describe structured steps for dealing with upset or angry customers. 4. Explain escalation principles and the role of the Consumer Protection Act. 5. Apply this knowledge correctly when answering assessment questions. Let's start. Let's begin with ways of acknowledging customer complaints, exactly as outlined in your learning material. A customer complaint occurs when a customer is dissatisfied and communicates that dissatisfaction to the business. The learning material clearly states that the first response to a complaint is critical. Acknowledging a complaint means listening carefully, recognizing the customer's concern, and responding in a calm, respectful, and professional manner. It is important to understand that acknowledgement does not mean admitting fault. It means showing the customer that their concern matters and will be taken seriously. When complaints are acknowledged correctly, customers feel respected and are more likely to remain calm. When complaints are ignored, interrupted, or dismissed, customers often become more upset and the situation escalates. Now that we understand how complaints should be acknowledged, we need to clearly understand what a complaint actually is and how it differs from a customer query. Let's take a look. The learning material makes a very clear distinction between a complaint and a query. A query is a request for information. For example, a customer may ask about prices, stock availability, store policies, delivery times, or product features. A complaint involves dissatisfaction. It usually occurs when a customer feels that expectations were not met, or when they believe something went wrong. Understanding this difference is extremely important. Queries usually require information, while complaints require empathy, problem solving, and sometimes escalation. If a complaint is treated like a simple query, the customer may feel ignored or disrespected, which can worsen the situation. Once we understand whether we are dealing with a complaint or a query, the next step is knowing how to deal with customers who are upset or angry. The first step is to remain calm and professional. Becoming defensive, raising your voice, or arguing will escalate the situation. The second step is to listen carefully and allow the customer to explain the problem fully without interruption. The third step is to acknowledge the customer's feelings and show empathy, even if you do not agree with the complaint. The fourth step is to provide solutions or information that are within your level of authority, or explain the next steps if escalation is required. These steps help reduce tension, rebuild trust, and demonstrate professionalism. Assessment questions may ask you to describe steps for dealing with angry customers. Answer in the correct order and use professional language. Even when we follow all the correct steps, there are situations where a complaint cannot be resolved immediately. This brings us to escalation and legal responsibilities. This final section focuses on escalation principles and the Consumer Protection Act, as described in your learning material. Escalation means referring a complaint to a supervisor or manager when it cannot be resolved at your level. The learning material explains that escalation protects the customer, the sales assistant, and the business, ensuring that complaints are handled fairly and according to procedure. The Consumer Protection Act gives customers the right to fair treatment, honest information, and proper resolution of complaints. As sales assistants, it is important to understand our role, our limits, and the importance of following correct escalation procedures. Now, let's conclude this session and take a look at everything we have covered so far. To conclude today's session, let's recap the key learning points. 1. Complaints must always be acknowledged professionally. 2. Complaints and queries are different and require different responses. 3. Upset customers must be handled calmly and systematically. 4. Escalation and legal principles guide complaint handling. This knowledge is taken directly from your KMO1 learning material and prepares you for assessments as well as real workplace situations. Thank you for your participation. Learners, see you at the next session.